pilots eat a different meal. There are different standards which are forced by various aircrafts. Notwithstanding, there is one guideline which is basic to by far most of them. The standard pilots must be taken care of the equivalent multi-course feast given to those in the first and business class, while the co-pilots are urged to eat various dishes to prepare for instances of food contamination. A Boeing 747 is made up of 6 million parts. Boeing 747 is the most notable wide-body business carrier and payload transportation airplane, much of the time alluded to as the Queen of the Skies or the Jumbo Jet. This plane is popular in light of the fact that it was the principal immense-body airplane at any point created. A Boeing 747 is comprised of 6 million sections which are made to be totally controlled by a couple of pilots sitting in advance with switches and fastens under their fingertips. The speed of a Boeing 747. Another interesting reality about this airplane is that the greatest speed of a Boeing 747 is 955 km per hour. Over 70% of the populace fear of flying. Acrophobia is defined as a fear of heights. Unlike a specific phobia like aerophobia, fear of flying and other specific phobias, acrophobia can cause a person to fear a variety of things related to being far from the ground. Contingent upon the seriousness of the fear, an acrophobic individual may similarly fear being on a high floor of a structure or just ascending a stepping stool. Just 5% of the total populace have ever experienced a plane. In spite of the fact that the flight part is developing quickly, as per the measurements, just 5% of the total populace has ever flown on a plane. Numerous individuals, particularly from the underdeveloped regions, have never under any circumstance been in an airplane, and it isn't likely that they will have a chance to fly in the entirety of their lives. In any case, simultaneously a little minority of the total populace fly consistently. The average age of an airplane. The life expectancy of an aircraft isn't really estimated in time. The lifespan of an airplane is arrived at when there are sure metal fatigues and cracks which may present risk. The administration life of 20 years is commonly communicated by rough figures of 51,000 flight hours and 75,000 pressurization cycles for most airplanes. If an aircraft is used on long-haul routes, it experiences relatively few pressurization cycles in its life, and can remain airworthy far beyond 20 years. The world's commercial air terminal. The busiest commercial airport in the world is the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport (ATL) in Atlanta, with more than 960,000 airplane movements a year. Based on its passenger traffic, this airport has been the busiest from 1998. The Hartsfield-Jackson has held its ranking as the world's busiest airport in 2012, too, both in terms of the number of passengers and the number of flights. In the year alone it was visited by 93 million passengers, more than 250,000 passengers daily.